Wasn't really until the late game he got his DFG and he really started to come alive and start putting the hurt onto Chaos in the back line.
It took a while, and that ramp up time, I mean, it is a weakness Diana does have. Eventually, when you're diving in there, and you're not killing someone, it's a scary moment because, well, I'm here, I haven't killed a guy, I'm just going to sit around for a second auto attack. Like, you're not in a good spot because you're still a squishy AP carry. But once that DFG came out, like, we reached the point, we're just going to win every team fight now.
Yeah.
Alistar being banned by TSM, Karthus being banned by Ferus, probably going to be very similar bans for Ferus. Not like any of those TSM shenanigans. I would not be surprised to see Morgana and possibly Diana. Or Yorick's being banned out.
Sir Yorick. So Yorick, the one that they were considering the trouble there, it was the Ghosts that won the game.
The Ghosts helped quite a bit, because spooky ghosts are always going to scare you. And what about Morgana? That'd be the other ban I would expect, but...
Yeah, will they stick with that? Will they go after Skarner? I mean, they've got first pick, but will they grab first pick Skarner and give that to Odd One? Will they take Diana off the field? Do they want to deal with that in the mid lane? Does Reggie have an answer for Diana mid lane? As that has seemed to be a bit of a weak link. You called it on the Morgana, and what will the final ban for mMe Ferus be? As they're hitting TSM in spots that people hit them all the time. Karthus, Shin, Blitzcrank.
That's all standard.
Yeah, I mean, standard across the board. Shin, when you want to get off the field. Reggie's Karthus, a thing to be feared. You don't want to just give him free damage from anywhere on the map in every team fight.
We've seen what can happen, you can be behind, you can be coming back, you can be in really any position. There's a good chance TSM will win the game because Reggie's on Karthus and he got farmed.
So, I mean, Ferus here, playing this one straight down the line. They're recognizing the danger of TSM and respecting it. Even though they're up a game, they want to get themselves a little piece of history right now, being the first to take 2 in a row in 10 SoloMid invitations.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
it's
I
been
haven't
going
shown
over
them out in a while. Check out championselect.net, newest member of the SoloMid.net family. Find out why Teemo is the counter pick for everybody over there. And if you got a little bit of information on who's a great counter pick to who, add it up, add a comment, and let people know. And see if you can rally some support behind what you think is a good way to play a lane against any given champion. Nunu out first pick.
He's been actually been getting banned by a lot by TSM. He's a great jungler. He's a great support. You have a late game composition if you have Nunu and more or less any AD carry. I do kind of wonder what the response is going to be. Jace was available for Ferris, so they're going to pick up that very strong pick we've been seeing so often, and Sona at the same time. We haven't really seen that much Sona play coming out of Muffin Cutie, actually, because he's been playing, Janna, been playing Morgana, so it's good to see him back on the Sona.
Yeah, and just the crescendo in the last game for X Special, not Odd One, for X Special, so close, so insanely close to being a game changer in so many of those fights.
It's always going to be a
great crescendos, but just not able to turn it around. So close, I could feel it. I was,
There were a couple whiffs. For example, bot lane when he actually missed aphromoo, and Chaos tried to ult expecting it to hit and missed his own ultimate. So there were a few flubs, but overall,
in the team fights,
it was amazing. Yeah. Team fights, I thought, Sona ult hit. This might be the reset. This might be what they need. It just wasn't quite in those fights. Chaos and Reggie, what are you guys going to pick? So they can go for the AD carry now, not really reveal that much information. Diana is open if Reggie wants to, try playing what countered him, or Skarner. So same mindset would not be a bad idea.
So, support Nunu, going to help things out. They've got the potential for a heavy poke lane on the Ferris side. And Kog'Maw, the pick, it's been quite a while. It's like an old friend. So maybe they're going to go for really nice poke, but then you combine that with Skarner, who's more about bringing people into the fight. But, I mean, obviously Kog'Maw great all over the place, and Chaos switching things over to Cleanse this time.
Come on, let's see a Zillion. Protect the Kog'Maw combat. Zillion will be very effective. Chances are we'll see the mid come out as well as the jungler right now, if you want to hide the top laner. Draven.
Sona.
Yeah, Jace top lane, what am I talking about? Draven Sona. So there's no reason for aphromoo not to play Draven if he's not feeling confident.
He's going to grab the Yi in the jungle.
I believe Meat Playground has beaten teams with Teleport Smite E, so that's always a possibility. I believe he beat... No, he did well against TS.
They had a good game. He had a really rough start to that game as he was getting counter jungled by Odd One's Udyr, but came back alive. I remember that one.
That was
as many things wash out of my brain.
teleports my E.
Well, yeah.
Does not.
You don't leave that one alone. Draven, will he do it? That's God. Looking at that, I've started laughing just looking at Draven's stupid face. Such a ridiculous.
It's a fun face. It's a fun face. If you could grow that stash, you would grow that stash.
So,
I could grow that stash.
I'm working on one right now. I expect to be stopped by police regularly if I grow that mustache.
For
just
Worlds,
for
actually,
what are you doing around here?
For Worlds, actually, see if I'm not gonna do something special for my beard because I've grown it out a bit. I can trim it. I can control it. I can do something for Worlds, but I can't do the Draven mustache. So it hurts. Yeah. It hurts. So that will most likely be
only
a
Draven can
fight.
do the Draven mustache.
Could be something funny like mid-fight, but probably won't be.
Yeah.
Out of one selecting Katarina, we saw what Reggie could do with her. An effective pick all around.
So TSM with an interesting lineup by their own standards this time, and Vlad going to be coming out in the top lane. It should be fun, man. Nunu Kog'Maw support. It's been a while since we've seen Kog on the field at all, and I like it. I like the look of it from TSM. They're going to see what they can do. mMe Ferus probably one of the few teams that's going to not be put on the back foot by different setups. I would expect, but one never knows. It's almost like you build a strong weapon expecting never to have to figure out how to defend against it. And Mandatory Cloud now going to have to deal with the Katarina. Kog'Maw going to be coming out. They have nerfed his ult into a place where it's reasonable. You can poke still very nicely, but it's not quite the same. One Kog'Maw that's in good shape can shut down an entire 5-man push in towards an inhibitor.
So, that's going to be a mid-rumble, possibly? Balls and rumble have swapped, so that's a possibility. Xmithy going with the dodge. I'm going to ask, what's the dealio?
Yeah. We'll see. We'll give them a chance to explain themselves.
Before we crucify
You actually
them.
wrote Delio as well.
I wrote Delio. I was going to ask what's the Delio. I need to say Delio. I'm going to be true to my word.
Oh. Somebody needs to rein you in. You're a loose cannon, studio.
I will say other words that were used in the 90s.
Oh.
It's so tubular.
Tubular to the max.
Tubular is so long. I don't know how people had the patience in the 90s to say a word with so many syllables.
I don't think anybody did.
Yeah. Radical? Radical is used a lot.
Aphromoo, pretending we can't be friends. I'm going to type the word liar in all caps. Oh, God. I can't call him a liar, but he knows it in his heart.
He knows. It's true. It's true. Oh, now's your chance. Now's your chance. Why did Dyrus leave? Now we'll have to ask what's the dealio with him.
Dyrus is out. He had to change out his pillowcase. Had the one with the frowny face on.
Yeah.
Stop that, studio. Stop
I'm not going to stop
Delio.
using the word dealio. Hey, I can start bringing up in casual conversation at this point. Let's say around town.
What's the dealio with you guys? If people are going to be like, studio.
Nobody would notice.
Stop trying to make Delio happen.
Bring back Delio.
Delio had its time,
and
it was a time when Alicia Silverstone was relevant to the pop culture scene. That time has passed.
That time will never pass.
She had made it well over the shark before Batman and Robin.
A good movie. A good movie. Even that one.
One of the best. One of the best movies ever made. Best. Movie. I mean, forget the Nolan trilogy. What a bunch of high-handed crap that was. Where is Arnold Schwarzenegger playing the Iceman and dropping puns just completely? I mean, come on.
Ice to meet you. Come on. That is such a good pun.
Everybody, chill. What a perfect film.
You know, if we ever have downtime, we could just start reading Mr. Freeze puns.
Yeah. Or just word for word reenacting the movie. The Bat card, never leave home without it. You can't say that line and love yourself in the morning. You can't do it.
How cold of you to say that.
Timo Band.
T-S.
XW.
What's the next one? M.
Wha.
It's wha. I don't get Ferus.
Good enough.
So much. So that's going to be a mid-rumble, most likely, which I have not seen for quite some time. That was actually how Rumble was originally played in Season 1 for a very short amount of time. I believe Big Fat Gigi and CLG played him in mid lane in one of the tournament games, and then it didn't do it again because it didn't work very well. But that was mostly just the inexperienced Rumble we had in North America. There were like 3 Rumble players.
Yeah.
One of them was Trieskimo, who could not participate in tournaments because he worked for Riot.
And in Europe, they loved it for a while.
Europe they loved it for a while. Then like it was funny because back in June they were telling me, yeah, everybody in North America loves Rumble, but we don't use it anymore. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa,
They
times
switched
have
up.
changed.
It's you know,
He was broken for a while.
you could say we're behind the times, but really, you know, we made him work now. And I wonder if that's what it is. That's why I'm so interested in World Championships. You know, how's that incompatibility going to work out? Smithy, sitting on Rengar, the best champ.
Rengar, always a good pick.
How is
Actually,
that-
right now, Rengar is always a good pick.
Yeah, how is that difference in the development of the metagames going to work out? You know, we didn't see Rumble as all that great while Europe was using him. They're kind of tailing off of using him, or were kind of tailing off of using him when we start using him over here. And now the changes to his Flame Spitter, I mean, obviously, he's hard to deny in his way.
He's a good character now. I do kind of wonder just in general, like, what are the meta shifts going to be? So, of course, Ezreal's big everywhere right now. That's something that should be standard, but who's big in Korea right now as a mid laner? Lux was being used by Zubu Frost quite well. Will we see a lot of Lux play? Will North American teams, will European teams know how to play against that Lux?
We do have our, you know, we do have our couple of Lux mid players over here. So, I mean, certainly there are places I would expect if you see Lux mid, you're looking into Korea. You know, we've got some pretty good Pobelter, I believe it was, playing Lux
Yeah,
mid.
Pobelter's a great Lux mid.
Quite a bit on Meat Playground. Meat Playground proving themselves to be a formidable opponent. Do you start scrimming with Meat Playground a lot, leading into the World Championships to get yourself acquainted with at least the champion and how they're going to work mid. Of course, the TSM guys played back when Lux mid was an everyday thing, but she's changed quite a bit.
Oh, totally.
Since then.
I will say, if people want to scrim Meat Playground, it's never an easy thing to do, because I've seen their scrim schedule. It's pretty much non-existent, which always astounds me.
They're the tenured college professors of scrim teams.
They're a bit let's just say lax with their scrimmage, but you know, it's interesting because there's going to be those surprises, and even then, like looking through the picks now, it's like, well, why isn't Fizz used? You can give reasons, but what if there's a good way to make him work? Why don't we see a lot of AP Nasus mid?
Yep.
You know, maybe it's viable. Maybe that's the way you make him work.
Jace mid on Mandatory Cloud, going to be fun, to say the least. And Jace versus Katarina.
Jace versus Katarina.
How's it going to go? Tell me now.
Well, they have an interrupt on Katarina, and Katarina is melee. So she does have that good farming potential with Bouncing Blade and with her W, but it's not that reliable, and Mandatory Cloud is going to be very aggressive towards Kat. He's not going to let Reggie ever get some free time. Reggie can't really use this Shumpo for her ass either, because guess what? You Shumpoed next to a Jace as a relatively squishy melee character. You don't want to do that. So mCloud's going to go all crazy in that mid lane. If he ever sees a chance, he will go for that burst combo, which is going to be kind of tricky just because the Shumpo does let you dodge his crushing blow, his well, actually that might be to the skies. The Q in hammer form. I actually forget what that's called. It's got a very long name. But his you know, offensive dive forward, that's dodgeable with Shumpo. So there's a lot of options for Reggie, but overall this can be a very aggressive matchup with mCloud just being super offensive.
Yeah, mobility, the name of the game, and that's one of the things that they were talking about with the new Katarina early on. Skara and TNC. I can never remember his whole
Kenshi
name.
no Akuma?
Yeah, TNC. I remember that part.
Like halfway, I think.
I was trying to remember the whole part, but you know what? It's too much work. But you know, both of them were complaining about how you aren't rewarded for trades on Shunpo anymore as you were in the before time. So you know, maybe, and I believe one of them was even talking about that specifically within the realm of, you know, the possibility of top lane Katarina play. One of the reasons you know, she wouldn't really work out great up there. Obviously, the mid lane Katarina has come together quite nicely despite the protestations.
People have found that she doesn't even need to finish channeling the ultimate. It will just do tremendous amounts of damage no matter what. It does not take long before that ultimate does 1200 damage, which is terrifying. But, you know, top lane, she's interesting. She can work, but things like Shumpo not being a great offensive choice early on, it does bring it down a bit. Like, you can't trade with Shumpo, for example. You have to get in melee range a lot, and you have okay options, but people don't really know, is it going to be enough? Can you handle someone like Jace, for example, the top lane? I think right now Jace is one of like those quintessential Jace tests. If you can lane against Jace, you're okay. If you can't, you got problems.
Yeah. In the long run, a big part of it as well. I wanted to believe in the Katarina jungle. I think it was Elements who was trying to instill that belief in people. He was like pretty good in the jungle. I tried it out a couple of times. I didn't have a whole lot of luck with it. I still like it better in the lane.
I was actually at the Curse apartment for IPL Face-Off. I stayed there one night before the first rehearsal, and they released that information, the Katarina rework, and Elements, just, or not Elements, but same visual, just like, she's going to jungle, and it's going to be amazing. It's like, look at this. She's got the Shumpo for the ganking. She's got good clear times with her Q and W. It's going to be awesome. And luckily, they managed to curb the damage enough early on so we don't have Katarina jungle dominating the scene, which I don't know if I'd like that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a bit too annoying because Shumpo would be really, really good at catching people off guard.
Absolutely. You'd be able to get in close really early on. You pair that up with some CC on the lane, and you're among the manliest of men right there. Boots 3 pots, boots an award on the jungler so they can get some early visions. Ferus wants to make sure they've got a good look at everything. Odd one rolling on through into the top side river brush to hold his space. Everybody's spread out pretty evenly around the field. aphromoo deciding that he's going to mid lane.
Good idea, good idea. Driven mid lane, what could go wrong? Put Jace in the bot lane.
I don't think anything could go poorly.
No. He could harass Katarina so well. Kill her before she can hit level 6. And then just never let her hit level 6 at that point. Actually, I forgot about that. Draven does have an interrupt for Katarina. So there were more interrupts than I thought there would be. There is Mandatory Clouds with his hammer, just knocking her back. aphromoo does have his knock to the side.
Yeah. The stand aside interrupt.
Yeah, it does interrupt. It's a movement skill, so it forces the move, which forces the interrupt. And of course, Sona with her ultimate and X-Smithy with his ultimate. So not like a Soraka infused, not like the really obvious interrupts, but they do have decent interrupts on Ferris' side.
Able to get it through. Dyrus holding the tri-brush bottom. Looks like it will be a low action early game here, and they have stopped a super early Wraith Ward from going down on the mMe Ferris side, but good ward coverage abounds for mMe Ferris as they're able to get in the TSM jungle over by the Wraiths, get things down. Top side is covered, and Muffin Cutie aphromoo rolling around with Mandatory Cloud and Smithy. Rumble going to go down bottom, play this one 2v1, and Chaos going to see that Balls is inside their jungle, and Reginald going to get a ping onto the 4 as they swing over. Attempted a blue steal here by mMe Ferris. Not a whole lot they can do to answer this one as the 2 have already gone bottom. Rumble gets to work on the lane, stops the pickup on golems, and a good start out here early for Ferris. They're going to get that blue buff picked up, and can they get around to their own blue buff in time to stop Skarner sliding over? It's his need to nuke early on. Definitely helped out by that blue buff.
So they're going to see Skarner in the jungle. They're going to see him go for his own Wraiths or go for the blue steal. And if they do see him go towards that blue, they know what they can do in response. He isn't heading towards that blue. What is Ferris' reaction going to be? They know this is happening, so they know he's going to be there. And he's only going to be level 1.
Yeah. Rolling across to try to get down. They're going to be able to get over to it and should be able to stop it as he's going to slide straight by these wolves. Head in onto the Odd One. Odd One with a little help from X Special to try to keep things in check. Odd One runs low, gets the blue. Will he get any support from Rumble bot lane? No. Chaos running a little bit too much interference, and good work there by TSM. Great coordination to keep that from spiraling into the bad place. Actually,
Balls going very aggressive on the Chaos. Forces the Cleanse. Ignite is used by Balls, though, so a good blue steal in the end from both sides. And Balls actually, getting a good chance to get some experience, kind of hold his own. Only at 2 CS, but he's still getting the levels, and that's what really matters in that 1v2 lane as Rumble specifically.
Mandatory Cloud sitting back, playing the ranged game with Jace, and making sure that Reggie has to take all those little shots right into the side of the head off of his annoying cannon hammer gun thing.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Actually going aggressive onto Reggie. Hits a slow. Ignite's used by both of them. Will he be able to pick up this kill? He's a creep. He knocks the creep back instead of Reggie. That would have been the kill. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Original just gets out and looks a little bit better for the wear, actually, on the other side of his health potion. Going to start one taken away on Jace as well. aphromoo chasing the far side. Ignite gets down. No way out of that one. Ignite going to tick him down. Dyrus gone. First blood to aphromoo. Odd One in. No help from the minions, but the heal from Sona going to be good enough. Odd One too low to really answer that one in a meaningful way, and first blood over on the back of a Mandatory Cloud miss onto Reggie, so a good way to answer that one back. 400 gold lead.
And Ferris, they're taking a dominant position in the lanes. This is a great start for them. I mean, once aphromoo gets started on Draven, has it ever seemed like it's not going to end well?
Forgot to line things up, and they were pretty close to lined up already. We'll get that set. Boop, boop. There we go. So, I mean, the CS number is pretty good all over the place. Vlad not too far behind Rumble, and everybody just within 2 or 3. A little bit of a lethal malfight in the jungle, but he hasn't made any trips on a lane. Reggie going to get the worst of it as an acceleration gate, giant big AoE blast comes down onto him. Takes him a little too low. Reggie going to have to back, and Jay's going to get some more quality time alone with his little creeps on the lane, and Reggie not going to leave it be just yet. Going to hang out on the lane for a little bit longer. aphromoo putting the fear into Dyrus and saying, you better stay on the other side of that turret. Better.
He does take some trade in response from the turret, but you know, he does have that Sona backing him up. Sona is one of the best 1v2 characters in the game just because her constant aggression is something really hard to deal with as both, you know, the person you're laning against and any sort of a jungler. Like, you really can't go in against the Sona because she'll get the slowdown and you can get caught off unless you're like Malcolm.
So Odd One hanging out near mid lane here. Mandatory Cloud a little bit low on to Reggie. He goes, gonna get under the turret. The knock not enough, and they turn it around. Reggie picks up the kill before Odd One's able to get into range to help. Odd One in the back to make sure he had no escape, however. And now it goes 1-1 overall. Still a bit of a lead here for mMe Ferus in the gold department. But nicely handled right there as Reggie, it's such a close call for Reggie, but he's able to keep his cool, turns it back around after Mandatory Cloud gets a little too hungry for murder there. Smithy in onto Odd One and going to put some good damage down onto him, the red buff, making sure Odd One can't just roll back in and start doing work.
Unfortunately for Mandatory Cloud in that mid lane, he shifted to Hammer Form for the damage, but at this point in the game, Hammer Form only does an extra 40 damage in magic damage when you do shift, and it just wasn't enough. Balls hits level 6 in the bot lane, does lose his turret, actually in a very dangerous spot now. Was slowed by X Special, needs to get out of there.
Mandatory Cloud in to help things out. Ball's going to be able to get clear. X Special runs low. The ult from Ball's going to pay off all of his trouble bot lane with a kill, and still very close in on the CS, not going to be forced back in its entirety. Up in the top lane, a really similar situation playing out, except Dyrus has gone down once, and this next minion wave coming in, aphromoo going to get work done on the turret. Dyrus can't quite clear the lane with Muffin Cutie helping out. They will be able to get this turret in good time. aphromoo hungry for that turret, going to get the ult and go on to Dyrus. Dyrus pulls under aphromoo. Ult's not enough. Stand aside, and a spinning axe to finish it up, as aphromoo can win any 1v1 there, man. How do you kill him in a 1v1? That helped from, well, 2v1, really, with Muffin Cutie in the back. But I like to consider them duels in a manly way. She's just cheerleading off to the side. She wouldn't interrupt.
She's yelling. Well, she's playing, song, so aphromoo
like
will do well.
Just a helpful tune to keep him in the best of shape. But what a close one there, as Dyrus just unable to come away with it. aphromoo gets the kill and the tower. A very, very nice win up top to answer that one back. And Mandatory Cloud coming down bottom. A great look for Ferus here early on. TSM no way out of it, though, as just about 1.4k gold difference here through 8 minutes of play, more or less. 1 turret to 1, 3 kills to 1. Ferus with a lead in a couple of departments, but not running away with it just yet.
Original in mid lane's actually looking really strong right now, getting a lot of really good harass on a Mandatory Cloud. mCloud, he's not letting his shock blast, he can't quite get the acceleration gate to line up properly. And they're looking for aggression in the mid lane, and right now Reggie's just kind of dominating it with his own bouncing blades. Dyrus in top lane, I think he's dead.
No way away from that. He does get just out of range of the slow on the ult there, out from Rumble. Just barely, just off the edge of that. If that slow had kept him in place just a little bit longer, might have been able to follow it up with a kill, but Dyrus going to be sent back home nonetheless, which is going to allow Rumble to put a little bit of a lead out front. He's got that kill versus the 2 deaths on Dyrus, so any help that he can get from the CS is going to be great. Reggie winning the trades with Jace mid, so looking pretty good for the Katarina, at least in mid lane versus Jace. That extra space up top, would that play to Katarina's favor in a top lane situation? That's what I'm thinking about for the moment. Muffin Cutie going to clear ward down by Dragon. Chaos slides in, but aphromoo there to keep his lovely gamer lady safe. 1.2k gold now, the lead for Ferus.
At this point, it looks like the defense from Dyrus, the change of plans is going to be Dyrus going for the jungle, actually trying to kill golems himself. Takes him down to about 3/4 HP. Bot lane, Odd One does go with the initiate, but Muffin Cutie with a very good song to stop it.
Yeah. Plays that, hits that Moog synth, and lets him know that he needs to get down 8-bit style. And a nice preemptive crescendo, but TSM going to take that as saying, hey, now you don't have a big giant AoE stun. Reggie going to let him know that there's a ward in the brush as Malphite hangs off to the side. They're just going to let him have it and maybe going to try and go in. In they go. Can they get it? They do indeed. Smithy with the steal onto Dragon, and not a bad start to a team fight on the other side of it. Dyrus running low. They pick off Cog. Mandatory Cloud going to get caught out with an ult, but is not taken down. Is going to go out to Reggie at the very end of that one. They're going to get Malphite. Things now 3 for 2. Muffin Cutie going to have to get clear as Balls still up top. Will Balls be able to get any work done onto that top inner turret? He does not have the confidence to do it. He's going to pop back out, actually, and top inner may be the price of this one. A 3, almost 2.5k gold lead, rather. With Balls working on that turret, just not enough damage to put down. Vlad back to base, and Balls going to have to disengage. Can't get through that top inner turret to answer back. They do get the Dragon, though, and go 2 for 3 in the team fight. 3 for 2.
Yeah, despite not getting that kill, they got the Dragon. They're ahead overall on gold. Top lane has been pressured a bit. A lot of CS was denied. Actually, Paul's in the top lane. Might be able to pick up a kill on Dyrus if he lands it slow. Does not, so he will be safe. But right now, I mean, Ferus, they're in a good spot. It was a 4v5, and they still came out ahead with that Dragon Seal. Had Balls been there with his ultimate up, had Muffin Cutie had his ultimate up, that could have easily been just a giant stomp in favor of Ferus. And right now they have the team to interrupt Reginald's ult. The only person who Reggie can jump on and not get interrupted is going to be Balls, who of course wasn't even there. They have a good team to kind of shut down Chaos because Malphite can just kind of jump on him. It's actually Balls going for a kill onto Dyrus, it seems.
Reggie going to swing up, and this could turn tragic if Balls follows it down. He's not going to, as Vlad gets a little too far away. Malphite in may change the shape of the game up there as Muffin Cutie and aphromoo getting pushed back by the super range on Chaos. Odd one with a flash over the wall, going to hold Muffin Cutie in place. aphromoo not going to be able to help with this one. What will be his mode of escape? It looks like he'll just hang out under the turret. Reginald now in trouble as the Smithy can't follow it up. The Balls ult holds him in place just a bit. And Chaos doing work and showing us Kog'Maw still a very handsome looking bug indeed for keeping aphromoo at bay, at least for the time being. The lead still in enemy Ferris's favor. Reginald not able to hold on against Rumble's aggression as they work on inner turret down here. A couple of minions going to come in, but that cannon minion goes down. Just going to try and force the trade on aphromoo. 2v1. aphromoo never one to step away from a fight, and he's going to get that one. No. Just gets away from it, but Smithy in the area. Can he get around? Gets across the wall. X Special now with a long run to nowhere, and not likely with Muffin Cutie coming in. X Special doing his work. Ball's in trouble up top. He is not going to be able to get away from that one as Nunu falls bottom in the 2v1. Things turn sour for Balls, who stayed a little bit too long top lane, and those kills coming out pretty much at the same time. Ends things up with TSM get a little bit of gold for their trouble.
A little bit closer. Overall, just a good situation for them. It was actually kind of unfortunate at first when Odd1 uses ultimate and flash to get that catch in the Muffin Cutie. That was a flash burn, really no game besides that. They need to go ahead, they need to pressure App and they get a kill underneath that turret to really make the most of it. Because if not, they used a 4-minute cooldown to pick up Sona, and I'm sorry, Muffin Cutie, you're not doing a whole lot if you're not ulting in a team fight. So it's okay. It's okay that he died and nothing came of it. But unfortunately, because they did not get that proper trade-off, it wasn't the best situation. Ball's top lane, though, he got a bit more aggressive onto Reginald, tried to chase him down with his own Electro Harpoon, but when he did that, he went to the overheat, and a Rumble who's overheated without Flame Spitter active is not very scary at all, and they just were able to turn it around very quickly.
What are you going to put the heat into? I mean, it's just going to dissipate in the atmosphere. 2k gold lead, as the towers are dead even. The kills are dead even. The Dragon has been stolen away from TSM the last time it was up. Just wrenched from their grasping fingers. No, come back to us, Dragon, is what they said. But still, very even game overall. 2k gold, a nice lead for Ferus, but not enough to deny TSM anything at this point. And with good pressure being exerted around the map by TSM, still very much in this game, as the bot lane pressure has been undeniable from Chaos and X Special, putting to use that early ability to keep aphromoo pushed out to the back, with Sona not having her ult in that last one was a bit of trouble, and being well off to the side, got caught out, and aphromoo doing an admirable job holding things in the 2v1, able to force a trade. So Still a very even game, anybody's game. We haven't seen what the team fight potential is for either side. We obviously have good CC between Smithy and Sona.
A good combination there. And on the side for TSM, they do have a lot of slow, they have a lot of control. The only hard CC they're going to have is the ultimate coming out from the op one. So Skarner's got that Impale, but aside from that, there's lots of, attack speed slows, movement speed slows, good control. But it's going to be hard to lock one person down. If aphromoo can, sit there auto-attacking, even if he can't move away, that might just be enough damage to start taking out TSM. We've seen how aphromoo does once he starts hitting level 9, that max rank of his spinning axe. What is that called? Spinning axe.
Spinning axes, yeah.
Is it really called spinning? It's called spinning axe. So once
he
he gets
spins
that
it around, that's a good name for it.
Once he gets that max rank, it really amplifies his damage, and he does have that Bloodthirster. His damage is going to be tremendous at this point. So they can really control the fight with that. At the same time, they got Katarina on TSM. They got Chaos playing Kog'Maw on TSM. They got the damage. They got the deep to turn it around themselves. Yep. It's all going to be about a really good initiation, a really good catch.
Yeah, good AoE on Dyrus and Vlad, who, again, is not having a bad game. 28 CS behind. He is 1-2-3, though, so those extra 3 assists versus the 1-1-0 Rumble are going to make things work out for him. And Jukes on Reggie there. Odd one in, going to pull Mandatory Cloud over. His ball's going to be enough to save that one. Gets Mandatory Cloud out, forces the trade. Odd one a little bit of trouble, but Dyrus coming in and making him a little bit scared. Pick up on Dragon as the fight goes down mid. So that one going to come into mMe's favor by a pretty good little chunk there as they force a 1v1 trade. They get Mandatory Cloud sent back, but trade mid for mid. aphromoo can't stop putting damage down on the turrets. He just sees him standing there so helpless. They can't even hit him back when there's minions in the area. That's just the kind of fight aphromoo likes.
That's the kind of fight most AD carries like, especially if there's someone else backing them up with CC to force that to happen. The turret can be pressured. Can they kill Dyrus? Probably not, but they definitely can get that turret. Sorry, Vladimir, you can't 1v4 quite effectively at this point in the game.
Yeah, Smithy just going to slide onto the other side of the turret, make sure that there's no way Vlad can clear the wave. Or, whatever, even if he gets desperate, drops the ult, he can just do tides across and hope to get the lane down at least a little bit faster. Not going to be able to do it, though, as Smithy doing a good job getting onto the other side of that, saying, hey, boogie, boogie, boogie. And that was pretty much enough. Vlad, a very skittish kind of fellow, will run away at the drop of a hat. Just say, look, a ghost, and he's like, straight into the jungle.
Well, imagine this. Imagine a Malphite, a rock, walks up to you and says, I'm going to knock you up in the air with my force unless you leave here right now. You can't react to it. You can't use magical abilities to flash because it will be right next to you, and you do not have that reaction times as a human being. So, Smithy, just asserting his Malphite dominance. And right now, Reggie's got the farm. Reggie's got all the kills. KX is in a pretty good spot himself at 113 CS, a bit behind, but Kog'Maw getting farm and being by a Nunu means he can be a little bit behind. He's okay. But Reggie with those kills, he's relatively squishy. He actually has a red potion, one of the endurance potions, I believe it's called, just for the extra HP to survive team fights. So he knows how important he is right now. He knows he can't go down. And until he gets a Guardian Angel, until he gets either more survivability through a Rylai's or Abyssal Scepter, he needs something to survive, which I'm actually really glad to see that item pick up.
So mid-outer, a definite boon here for mMe Ferus. Their mid-outer turret is not in great shape itself, so if TSM presses the issue there, may be able to get some work done. Both of them focusing on the far lanes where the outer turrets are down. Top outer in favor of mMe Ferus, and bottom outer in favor of TSM. Going to send the lane pushing across. A whole lot of TSM coming in, but Chaos is headed back on Kog'Maw, so just a little look in there to keep things safe, just in case they could get themselves an advantageous situation with aphromoo and Muffin Cutie overextending. They do not, so everybody just going to head back for TSM, get things reset. Up top, Ball is going to be pushing the lane across towards a top inner turret, and he is going to slide off right into some ward vision, gets himself a ward placed down for himself. And the vision pretty well spread across the map for both teams here. Still feels like a very close game. 5k gold lead, something that can be gotten back on the back of a single team fight, some turret pickup. And Reggie not able to take balls out. Gets him down to half health. Very good deterrent for making him thinking about the next team fight. And things starting to dance around Baron here as everybody forming up in the area.
Baron is a possibility for both teams. Draven does a lot of damage to Baron just because of his high auto attack, and he can stand in place and more or less catch every single spinning axe. As for TSM, their Baron team comp is going to work because they do have a Kog'Maw top lane. Reggie is going on the balls. Can he get this kill?
Muffin Cutie going to come up, get the heal in to help that out. Ball's a little low for a fight at this point. His ult's still going to be very, very welcome. Ult down onto just about everybody standing in there. Crescendo going to get Dyrus caught out, and aphromoo going to get that one. This one turning around quite nicely here as Odd One runs low. Chaos down, Reggie out, and that is, oh, it's an ace. Acathian surprise. Not going to get anybody as Smithy runs wide, and Baron going to be the price of that ace. A very nice pickup there for Ferus. Going to put them very nearly out of reach for TSM here. Things going to need to go very passive if they are going to stay in this one, because the gold on the back of this is going to be right around 9,000.
Ferus, that is what I'm talking about when I'm saying they're getting good at these team comps. What happened in that fight? A Rumble ult lands. Muffin Cutie lands his own ultimate right after. As that stun is about to wear off from Sona, in comes Xmithy, in comes aphromooo's ultimate, just making it an AoE composition out of people you don't normally look at for the AoE. Rumble, alright, he's got some decent AoE, but then using just the damage from both Jace and Raven for that offensive damage, for that offensive AoE, that was impressive, that was amazing. And Ferus, they're playing their composition well. This isn't Morgana, this isn't Katarina, this isn't something we've been seeing out of them the past couple days, but well, it is Raven, but this is still awesome. It's still they're so effective at what they do now. That's the way to describe it. They're effective. They know how to make stuff work, how to get stuff done.
Yeah.
A 9,000 gold lead. That is a tremendous lead at the 21-minute mark. They're looking posed to take 2 TSM invitationals in a row and to 2-0 in both of them.
Times.
I mean, how many has Ferus lost a game?
Have they?
I don't think they've lost a game this tournament. They 2-0 Legion.
So we need our stat guys on that. Has Ferus?
Oh, I think did Absolute Legends take a game off them?
They may have.
No, they did not. No, they did not.
They didn't. Okay.
No.
Well, I'm waiting for the stat guys. I'll remember later. Right now. Right now, no. Until I've seen it put in stuff. It's too many games. But, game not over by any stretch of the imagination right now. They got to make good use of this Baron buff, not get caught out, and Smithy in danger of having that happen. Indeed, he's going to turn it around. Chaos, the one caught out of position as Nunu left him just a little too wide out. Smithy swinging through, thought they might be able to catch up to Smithy in time, but they could not. Chaos off the field, top inner in trouble. Bottom outer goes down. Reginald going to get there and defend as Balls tries to run away. Goes down to half health again, then turns it back around on Reggie. Knows that he's got good regen this time with Chaos off the field. No defense being mustered around mid-inner turret. They're just going to leave that one be. Going to get Draven down bottom. Can they do it? Dyrus cannot in the 1v1. Enlist the help of the Secret Service golems. And even their sunglasses not thick enough to block the UV shine coming off of that beautiful, beautiful looking aphromoo down bottom. Mandatory Cloud into the mid inhibitor turret. X Special going to volunteer his absolute zero to do what he can and surrender out the first back-to-back win in the SoloMid.net Weekly Invitational, the second 2-0, both of them to the credit of mMe Ferus. What a fantastic, fantastic piece of work by them in both of these games here and all tournament long.
All right. Imagine this. You come to the TSM Invitational. You get a bye first round because of how it worked out, but you got that bye because you're first seed because you won last game's Invitational, or last week's Invitational. You go ahead, you play against, who was the first match? Legion, 2-0 them. A great comeback game too. It looked like they would have lost that match for a while, but they come back with a composition. The next thing you do, who do you go up against? You go up against Absolute Legends, who took out TSM. I mean, Absolute Legends have looked pretty strong this tournament. They're a new up-and-coming team, but they still took out big bad TSM. One of the team going to Worlds. Feeling good.
Yeah.
Next thing you do, you play that big bad TSM, completely just dominate them. And it's impressive. It's amazing how Ferus has done this tournament, and even last week.
I'm upset.
What do you got to say?
I want to see more.
I want to see more games. Yeah, no, it's
I want to watch more. It's one of the first weekends I've really wanted 6 games. You know what I mean? I wanted to see Ferus versus TSM. Just be a blaze of glory, just a knockdown, drag-out sort of thing. And Ferus brings some great play. 2-0, they get a bye first round. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, and they're done. 6 games of work, and they've got themselves a tournament. Forget 6 games in the final. They did 6 games all weekend long. And just beautiful. Beautiful play by mMe Ferus. I want to be a believer. I don't want to sit on the fence, but man, that was great play. I'm going to call myself a Ferus believer right now until I see somebody prove me wrong.